Hey guys, I have another redstone video for you today, and this time we have two new creations. As you can see here, we have both of these are
Hoes mad, 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 tell me hoes mad.
Anyways, it has been far too long since my last video, but let's be honest, nobody cares about my personal life, so just moving on from that explanation. Here we have two creations that do exactly the same thing. They even have the exact same dimensions, and even the exact same timings, as you'll soon see. And what these are the smallest, observerless, flush of the floor till dirt keys. You try saying that 5 times fast. Now, these are actually version 2, since I made one of these before I even hit puberty, and against my better judgment, I'll be linking that in the description below. And in the likely case that you haven't seen that video, and you're not familiar with this concept, these are just basically secret inputs that you can use in place of like a button or something, and they're activated by taking a hoe to some dirt, as I'm currently doing. And what makes them different to just a regular flush of the floor torch bud or something is that these push the activating block to the side underneath the floor, and what that does is it resets the dirt back to its original state, which makes it instantly ready for another use, as I can hopefully get on camera there, as you just saw. Now, the only difference between these is that one literally works in every single release of Minecraft for the last 7 years, while the other one was made just to work in the upcoming 1.16 version, since, as you may have heard, Mojang changed some stuff in last week's snapshot. Now, I don't want to make this intro any longer than it needs to be, so I'll leave my full thoughts out on that subject, but to give a summary, I don't actually hate it. But that's enough of me talking. It's now time for more of me talking, just also with building this time. Alright, so first up is the 1.5 through 1.15 version, but if you're actually interested in that 1.16 version, then stick around because that's coming up next. And as you can see from the parts list, there really isn't that much to it. In fact, I can actually fit all the components into my hotbar here. And for a bit of some Xometry trivia, I think that's actually the first time I'm using the compact version of that graphic, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, first up you want to find your input dirt block, and then just give that a friend there. And then come underneath that dirt block that you're going to use as an input, and then place a sticky piston to grab it when it extends. And then do basically the same thing for the side piston, except when that one extends, it'll push that input to the side underneath the friend, and it'll reset the dirt into its untowed state, if you can visualize that. Anyways, if you can come down to this side piston there, or that vertical piston I mean, you want to place a dot next to it, and then just give that a power. And then place dust on the slab there to turn that into a line. And as we all know, if it looks like a line, and logically should be a line, and powers like a line, then it actually is a line. Or not actually, because we are in 1.15, and in this version, this actually acts like a dot. And I can prove that by turning off and on this lever there. And as you can see, that piston there is responding as if that were a dot, turning off and on. And this is actually the first change that we're going to be encountering that they did from 1.15 to 1.16, because in 1.16 they did change the behavior such that now it acts as it looks like it should visually. So in 1.16 this does act as if it is a line, but for now we're just going to abuse that behavior because we are 1.15 after all, and like I mentioned, that works all the way down to 1.5. So next up we want to bring a repeater here on 2 ticks of delay into that side piston, and then bring the signal completely around with another line of dust there. And that'll go into a torch to invert the signal, and then a sticky piston holding a redstone block there, and that is actually it. So you can use your hoe already and activate it. I'm just going to use a dust because it does the same thing and it's in my hotbar. As you can see, when I activate it, it retracts, pushes it to the side to reset, and then it finishes the job. So what's happening here is, like I mentioned earlier, this, even though it looks like a line, wasn't actually acting like a line before. Well, now because the redstone block there is there, now it actually is acting like a line. So when that redstone block is retracted and is put into that position, then this line turns into a line, if that makes any sense. But this piston there isn't actually notified of that. This piston there still thinks it's a dot and it's still being powered, but that's not actually the case. So as soon as we give that an update, either through tilling the dirt or by placing a dust on the block there, as I'm doing now, then you can see it realizes it's incorrect, it retracts the block, and then the system resets. So that is actually it. It's only 36 blocks in volume after all, but stick around to inflate my watch time since the 1.16 tutorial is starting right now. And as you're seeing on the screen now, once again, the parts list for this is really simple. And also, once again, the starting redstone is going to be the exact same. So sticky piston on the bottom, sticky piston on the side, and then, oh yeah, give it as many friends as I have. And then also dust there with a lever to power that. And as you see, through the magic of editing, we are now 1.16, and because of 1.16, we cannot do the same slab shenanigans that we did before, because now it properly redirects and acts like it's aligned. So no matter how many times I flick this lever, it will not do the same thing it was doing earlier, so I can actually replace that with a block if I want to. And then we can continue on with the same repeater as before, but now we're going to be taking advantage of 1.16 stuff. So to power this side piston, instead of a block there, what we're going to do is have two dusts like this. And starting at 1.16, that's annoying. Starting at 1.16, anytime you redirect dust, it powers the thing it's being redirected. So in previous versions of Minecraft, this would not have been the case, and this piston would not have been powering. But now, as you see, because it's being visually redirected into that piston, it is actually being redirected into that piston, which makes things a little bit more clear in my opinion. So continuing on with the 1.16 stuff, we can make use of a target block and a torch on that. And as you see, this is a new addition to the game that redirects all dust next to it into it and powers it. And this would not have been possible with any other block before in Minecraft. There was no other solid block that redirected stuff into it that you could place redstone on. And yeah, this is really useful. So dust there into that torch will depower it. And then that will be going into this redirection piston, just like before, and this time it will be redirecting a dust there that is powering the upwards piston through the block that the repeater is on. All we need to do to finish off the creation is permanently power that, flick back on the other lever, slither on over here, and then we are done. So that is it for this video actually. Once again, really simple, the exact same thing as before, the exact same dimensions and the exact same timings. Not much more to talk about. Yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Hoes mad, I pull up in that OJ, hold fast, I got these bitches staring, comparing, if that's your girl not sharing, that's past tense. Hoes mad.